Okay, Paige, let's look at what we can do here to help with this incision on your abdominal region. So you've got what you're calling a hip-to-hip scar, and where they made this incision, just from what I was able to tell, I haven't looked through all the documentation that you sent me, but looks like they just cut through the initial layer of skin to get to this adipose tissue that they pulled out. So what I've done is I've actually taken a strip of duct tape, and that's going to be what the incision is going to look like. And really, from an aesthetic standpoint, I know that people are concerned about what the actual scar looks like, and the plastic surgeon, they did a real good job. You don't have a real heavy scar there. But from a functional standpoint of just function, and as you're moving at the waist and doing different things, what I'm more concerned about is not so much what this incision looks like on the outside of the skin, but what's happening underneath there. So what we want to make sure is that as this incision heals right here, okay, that it's able to move up and down. So if you see how I can do that, if I pull my skin, right, okay, that shows it pretty good. So if I pull my skin this way, you see how that moves with it. But even when I have this tape on here, even though it's not an actual incision, when I pull that, I can feel it hanging up there because since I've even put this tape down, it's created an adhesion within my skin. So it sort of tears, it feels like it's tearing or burning, and that's what we want to alleviate. So what you're concerned with is getting this incision so it moves without adhering to any tissue underneath. So you see how I can move that up and down like that? Now when I get right on there, because this is just tape, I can move that up and down. But what can happen is if an incision develops what we call adhesions, it becomes glued fast to the tissue that's underneath. So that could be fascia, or it could be muscle, and you've got a lot of abdominal muscle. So every time you move, every time you breathe, every time you bend over, side, twist, or anything like that, as this completely heals, you don't want any restriction there. So what you want to do to help with that, and what I would do is, if you were a client of mine, is I would start off with my fingertips like this, and I'm just sinking down, so there's no lotion or anything involved. I'm just hooking in, and I would go down until I feel that sort of not want to move anymore, and I would just stay there at that spot. Now you've got a lot of incision to work with as far as length goes, okay? And so you just have to take this a section at a time, but I'm just hooking into the skin. I'm not gliding, I'm not moving anything, and then I can even pull up my abdominal muscles, right? You can work against it if it's not too tender and try and just get that to move. So you're looking for anything that might be stuck in there, and you have to work slow. So when you're looking at releasing adhesions, it doesn't happen fast, but you can hook into it like that, or just do that. You can come in from underneath, but I'm not actually getting right on the incision. You see, my goal is to actually, what you eventually want to do is to be able to, if you can't already do it, you want to be able to pull it away. So ideally, that incision should not be stuck to anything underneath there. So it should just be like your skin, pliable. You should be able to pick that up away from there, and there shouldn't be any problem. Okay, so you're looking, so some areas you might be able to work with it, and some areas it might be a little stuck. So where it's a little stuck, then you come in, and it's sort of hard to see, but you can get the idea of what I'm doing. So that's where I would start. I'm not sure how many weeks out you are because I can't remember off the top of my head, but you want to make sure the incision itself is completely healed before you put any hands on. Once it's completely healed, like there's no more scabbing, there's no more sloughing of skin or anything like that, then you can actually get on that, and you can just go back and forth like this. It doesn't really matter which direction. This would be across the fibers if I work up and down like that. Okay, but you can go this way. You just want to be able to make sure you can move that scar and that incision And same thing, you're not going to really use any lotion when you're doing these techniques. You're just going to get in there and move that back and forth. After a while you can pin it. You can move one way and the other way. So you just want to feel that gliding. If it's like not even stuck and it's just gliding, then you're good to go. But you want to make sure it's not adhering anywhere along here. And usually your best indicator of that is when you're doing things during the day, you might move a certain way or bend over or reach up to grab something and you'll feel a burning sensation. So if it's burning, that's where you've got an adhesion. So that's right where you would focus and try and get that opened up. Okay, so that's a pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. You don't have to spend a lot of time with it. You're just trying to focus in, but you shouldn't be afraid to touch it. Even at this point, you shouldn't be afraid. I mean, this is just abdominal wall and skin. They didn't go into any muscle. There's no organs or anything to worry about. So you really can't do any harm here. These are all pretty gentle techniques. And you're not going to use any lotion, but if this is completely healed over and you want to help with what the scar looks like, there's all kinds of great products. I don't know if you guys have any good stores back there like a Whole Foods or something like that, but there's shea butter, there's different creams you can put on, vitamin E usually help, some different kind of oils, stuff like that you can put on there that'll help diminish the look of the scar. But so try that out. If you have any questions, shoot me an email back, and I hope this helps, and it's an honor to be able to give you some insight into this as you continue to heal. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.